Hello everyone and welcome to another Versus video. I am BBD, joined again by
CVM.
and we are battling some Standard for some upcoming events this weekend. SCG Indianapolis, Grand Prix Providence. After a lot of Modern, we are kind of getting back into the Standard swing of things. So we're going to be battling a few decks here. I'm playing an Abzan Aggro deck that I'm working on for this weekend that goes back to my boy Nasty Siraxdy and some of his brethren, along with cheaper removal spells like Ultimate Price again, thanks to the rise of like Green Red Devotion and all these other Storm Breath Dragon decks as well.
And I am battling a Mardu aggro deck that's a bit leaner, a bit meaner. Jeff Hooglin won the 5K Premier IQ at the Invitational in Columbus 2 weekends ago with it, so let's give it a spin.
All right, well, first let's go ahead and see who goes first. Closest to 7 wins. 7. All right.
Oh, I got a 4. What does
All
that
right.
mean?
I think mine's a little closer to 7.
I guess.
See, closest to 7's a game that I can get behind. Because I always lose the 7's game, so I can win the closest to 7's game. All right, so this hand is... Oh, man. I really hate hands like this because we have a lot of good cards, but just the old mono Painland hand, we're just going to do so much damage to ourselves. But I still think that I have to keep this hand.
Yeah, same. I don't think this hand is like extremely powerful. It's obviously better on the play than on the draw, but against an unknown opponent, I would keep this hand.
All right, I'll leave the Heath and send it back.
All right, and we draw. I'll play a mountain and pass.
All right, we'll draw for turn. And our guy is probably going to die, but I'm going to fetch a forest and then take a pain down to 18 and cast a Death Dealer. And I'll send it back.
All right, so we draw.
He did not die. Fortunate
He
for
did
us.
not die. And I'll take a pain and play a Seeker away.
Whew. Get a doozy for the Seeker.
So I'm at 19, you're at 18. I'm about to get self-inflicted wounded.
No. Would never do that.
And it's your turn.
Alright, well, we are going to actually start by Thought Seizing you and taking 1,000,000 damage to take 3 to cast it. I will snap off that Goblin Rabble Master.
Yeah.
So
I hope we just draw one off the top and
so I'm at 15,
put it in you.
and then go to 14 and self-inflicted wound you.
Alright, I'll go to 18 and then 16.
You will go to 17 and then 15,
Oh yeah, 17 and then 15.
and you're up.
Good one. It's definitely not a good one. Alright, we'll play our Bloodstained Mire and then pass.
Okay. Alright, draw. That's a pretty good one. I'll hit you for 2, or try to hit you for 2.
No blocks.
Alright, you're at 13. And I will take a point of damage and cast a Fleeceman Lion.
13.
I'm at 14.
I should put you at 13.
Oh, yeah. Alright, we're both at 13. Now I'll play a Sandstep Citadel, a card that I've desperately wanted in this hand. You're up.
Alright, well, I'll fetch.
Down to 12.
We'll go to 12. And I think that I just get a swamp here. No, actually I'm going to get a mountain. Since I have this. And I want to just be able to use these stoke the flames with no damage. Now it's a little awkward here that I think I'm going to have to end up killing that Goblin Rabble Master. Or the Rakshasa the Death Dealer. Over the Fleeceman Lion. Just because the Death Dealer is going to be harder to handle and will just hit me much harder next turn.
He is a little hot to handle.
Alright, so I'll draw a card. Would have preferred something else, for sure. But here I think that we just... play the Battlefield Forge. I think that we have to stoke the Death Dealer.
Right. He was not too stoked about that.
And I'll pass the turn.
Alright, draw.
So we are not in a good spot against a Rhino. But
I'm going to go ahead and run the old aggressive line. I'm going to take the aggressive line and go down to 12. I'm going to place 2 +1/+1 counters on my fleece main line and hit you for 5.
I'll go to 7.
Go.
Alright, I'll draw Crackling Doom. That was not Crackling Doom.
Perfect.
Alright. So I think that I have to... I think that I actually have to play these two here. And just hope to be able to draw into some stuff. So I'm sure he's going to be dead, but I'll play the Swift Spear.
Okay.
Yeah, play Siege. And then pass. And our goal here is just to chump with this Swift Spear if we get to.
Alright. Attack.
Block.
Yep. And I drew a Siege right now.
Ah, seems good.
It is quite good.
4
Alright.
to 15.
15 to 4. And you're up.
Alright, I will take 2 removal spells.
How about 9? Alright, we're off to a phenomenal start here. A Bloodstained Mire.
Yeah. And I don't think that we can win.
Well, the Mire's not really part
It's
of
in
your
my
hand.
hand. Yeah,
No,
well,
it's not.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
up here. So we can go to 3. Yeah, I don't want to play the Mire.
It's like Murderous Cut plus a blocker.
Oh, I'll go to 3.
Okay.
And we'll play a Secret away.
Okay.
And I'll pass the turn.
Alright. I will untap and draw. I think because of this that he's probably just dead, but we'll attack with both. And the reason I put 2 counters on my Fleece main line is because of this card. Because if he just does nothing on his turn, I could actually just kill him.
We'll block here.
Alright, I will pass priority.
We will do 4 damage to the lion.
Alright, I am going to respond to... You're at 3, right?
Yeah.
Respond to the trigger of... Let the prowess trigger resolve and then exile the Seeker before damage.
Yeah, understood.
Yep. So when he was at 12, I put 2 on the Fleece main so I could attack him to 7, and then if he doesn't kill it or play a blocker, I can just put 2 on it again and kill him.
Yeah. Alright, we're back for game 2. I will be on the play. Hopefully we have a little better draw than in our first game. 6, 7. And this hand is actually great, so I will keep.
My hand is a very good mix of lands and spells. However, those lands happen to be ones that are going to deal me an extraordinary amount of damage. So, again...
Welcome to the world of Abzan Aggro.
Yeah, again, my kingdom for a Sandstep Citadel, but it is what it is.
Alright, we're going to start off with this Scry. And I think that this is going to be a card that we're going to end up wanting in this match, so I'm going to keep that one on top.
Okay.
And I'll pass.
I'm going to start off by going to 17 points of life. Whew. Alright, well his hand is a bunch of removal spells and an Outpost Siege. And basically I don't care that much about the removal spells. He can just kill all my guys, and that's fine. I just don't want him to pull ahead with Siege. So I'm going to take the Outpost Siege. And if I take a removal spell, it doesn't matter. He still has, 2 other ones. So it's just better to take Outpost Siege there. And I'm done.
Alright, so we'll draw, play a land and pass.
That makes it less worthwhile for us to just do 1,000,000 damage to ourselves to just cast a guy that's going to die. Go.
Alright. So we'll just play a Bloodstained Mire, and we'll pass the turn.
Okay. And
It's important to know we actually just have 9 points of damage in our hand.
I will say go. That is true.
I'll play Battlefield Forge, and I'll pass. And I'd like to play Outpost Siege there.
Yeah. Basically, we're just hoping he doesn't draw another Outpost Siege. I'll play Windswept Heath and say go.
So we draw. Play land and pass.
Alright, fetch, go to 16. This is an extremely greedy line of play, but I'm going to take it anyway. Because I know he has so much burn in his hand. But I'm going to go ahead and lose. I'm going to pay 1 to go to 15 to cast Abzan Charm to draw 2.
And go to 13?
Yep, I'll be at 13 when it's all said and done.
Yep.
Alright, untap. Draw for turn. And I'll cast a Warden of the First Tree.
That's fine.
And a Stance Subsidiary once I go.
Alright.
Now I know this Warden is probably just going to die, but at some point we have to start like interacting with him, and I think this is a good point to begin the interaction.
So, alright, so I have to figure out how we can cast our spells effectively here. And I think that we actually just want to start with this. So I'm going to fetch.
19.
Go to 19. And we're going to get a mountain. I think that I want to start by stoking you.
Okay, so I'm at 9. 9 to 19.
And we draw. It's actually not that bad. I'll scry. And I don't think that we want this, because I feel like this just doesn't add up to a rhino. So we're going to bottom that. And I don't think we actually have to cast anything yet, so I'll just pass the turn.
I will turn Warden of the First Tree into a 3/3 creature.
Okay.
Draw. I'll attack for 3.
I will declare no blockers.
Alright, I'll pass priority. If I just try to make him level up, he's just going to kill it. Doesn't really get me anywhere, so. Although I do have to make him kill it at some point so that I don't.
I'll cast Crackling Doom.
Okay. So I go to 7. Warden dies. And then I will then cast a Siege Rhino. So I go to 10, you go to 16. And I'll say go.
Alright, so here. I'm going to strike you.
Okay, 7.
That's perfect.
Alright, I'm dead.
Yeah, I just had another Stoke. I had exactly 13, and the card that I spread at the bottom was a Wild Slash because it just does nothing if you have a Rhino. So.
Sure.
And I also had a Murder's Cut, so my hand is just real stacked.
Alright, we are back for sideboarding, and since I'm not sideboarding 30 cards, I guess I'll start. I am cutting Abzan Charms because I didn't really get rid of any of his creatures, and drawing 2 cards and losing 2 life is actually a liability against the number of burn spells he has. So I'm going to cut these out. Cut the self-inflicted wounds, even though they do kill a few of his creatures. They're not like that effective against his deck. And then I'm going to cut 2 Thought Seizes just because when I'm on the play in a matchup like this, I don't want to have too many Thought Seizes. I think 2 is a good number. And I'm going to bring in the Rocks and the Elspeth to try to go over the top. Ultimate Price to kill his creatures and Downfall to kill his creatures as well. These are more reliable removal spells against him than Abzan Charm.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I want to note is that I almost never bring in Drown in Sorrow against any Mardu deck for any reason, because Mardu almost always sideboards into a control deck, just almost always, and I just always anticipate that they're going to do that. And if I end up being wrong and I lose as a result, then that happens, but the vast majority of the time it ends up being right, and you can easily lose games where you're just sitting there with like Drown in Sorrows and all this other stuff in your hand and just get destroyed by like Elspeth or Sarkhan or whatever. So that's why I don't like to do that. Even bringing in these ultimate prices might be overkill.
Fair enough. As for myself, I am going with Jeff's actual sideboard plan against Abzan Aggro. I asked him to enlighten me, and we're just basically transitioning into a control deck here. So we're bringing in the 3 Elspeth, the Sarkhan, the Temple, 2 End Hostilities, 2 Glares, and 4 Thoughtseize, and just cutting Swift Spear and Wild Slash since they just don't line up very well against basically any card in his deck. Rabble Master, since it is, it's just a very powerful card, but it doesn't do much when we're behind, and most decks are pretty well equipped to fight a Rabble Master post board. And then a Stoke the Flames, an Outpost Siege, and a Seeker of the Way, just since I don't really want to have 4 Sieges in my deck when I'm boarding in like Elspeths and Wraths. And with the Seeker and the Stoke the Flames, like Stoke actually isn't all that great against this deck, even though I did get to use it on my burden plan in Game 2. I still don't think I want my hand to be clogged with them, especially since we don't have something like Hordeling Outburst to allow us to chain Stoke the Flames. And then just cutting another one of our creatures since it's, for the most part, we're going to be stranding removal in his hand with our sideboard play like this. So let's jump into the battles and see what happens.
All right, see how it works out. All right, we're back for Game 3, and I am up first. And I have to mulligan this hand. It's a 1-land triple ultimate price hand, so we'll just ship that one back.
Well, I have a land and a Thoughtseize, but just a bunch of biggies.
All right, we are back with 6 magic cards, and this is an acceptable 6. So I'm gonna keep those.
Mine is another 1-land Elspeth hand. All right, see if we can get a good 5. Why not?
Okay. Start with a scry, and I'm basically gonna scry this to the bottom. Basically, anything that's not a white producing land is immediately going to the bottom. You're up.
That was a pretty good draw. I'll scry.
Sure.
And this is not the best since we have these 2 cards in our hand, but we do just need lands. So I'll top it. Go ahead.
All right, draw. That's not what we were looking for, but I'll play this and say go.
Alright, well, we're going to draw. Just strike this guy right away.
Good.
Go ahead. Can't let him untap.
Draw. We're going to not get there and fire off Thoughtseize. And again, we're just going to take this Outpost Siege.
Oh, you're going to get burned out.
Probably. Go.
Goblin Rabble Master? Still got 1 left.
Are you serious?
Back for 1!
Alright, I'm at 17.
Go ahead.
Alright, how about lands? Come on, deck. Seriously. Alright, kill that guy.
Man.
Go. Still got 1 left. Peels is one of. Tilt.
Yeah, battle.
16.
Go ahead.
Alright, come on. There we go. I'll take 1 damage and cast this. At 15. You're up. I'm feeling it's not going to stick around for too long.
It's not long for this world. So I have to decide if I want to use this or one of these. Because this can't go to the dome, but these can.
Is it the cut?
No. If it was a cut, I would just always save the cut because I can kill Siege Rhino. But this is a little more restrictive on what I can hit.
Yeah.
But it can also just be a threat if I need it to. In fact, I could play it and stoke the flames, but I think I'd rather attack for 1 and stoke. I also could use this to see what does he have in his hand. But since he has 3 lands at this point, I think he's just going to be casting every threat. And I think that I would just... 8. So this will put you at 14. This is at 6. I don't think I'm very close to actually killing you if I do that. So I think I'd rather just stoke, hide the information, and battle for 1.
Steven was battling for 1, but I'm going to be about to be battling for Zendikar. So, all right, let's go ahead.
Man.
All right, I drew a Windswept Heath, so
Man.
I'll fetch to 13. But sadly, I'm still just casting an Anafenza.
Yeah, it's not a Siege Rhino.
I'm just not taking a damage from my land to do it.
Fair. There's also the factor that you just get to put your opponent extremely on tilt when you miss your 4th land for a while.
Yeah.
And then you finally draw it, and you're like, yes, 4th land. They get sad, and then you just play an Anafenza, and they're like, that's not that bad.
Like, oh, and that's not a Rhinoceros. Not only Rhinoceros strategy. Here we go.
Good card. It's actually not bad. I'll scry. Don't know if this guy's good enough or not. I think that he is. Yeah. Stoke the Anafenza and attack.
12.
Go ahead. Little Cedric that could.
I'm getting wrecked by said goblin. Anafenza. Go.
Really?
Yeah, had a lot of Anafenzas. Got a problem with that?
I guess. Alright, well let's 4 damage.
I will counter it and fight your Cedric Phillips. I take 2 to do it. So I'm at 10.
Go ahead. Here's where you just draw Wingmate Rock, like right off the top.
God, that would be a real spicy number. You did draw that Rabble Master, so it'll only be fair.
Fair.
It would only be fair.
You do have 3 times the percentage to draw your rock than I did on that Rabble Master.
Cut me to glory here. Cut me to glory. Attack you for 4.
I'll take it.
Wingman Rock! At 9, you're up. God, feels so good.
I'm just actually going to lose this game.
Cut me to glory. And you did.
I think that I am only winning this game by drawing an end hostilities. Go.
Cut. And draw. Combat.
Yep.
Attack you with everything. Trigger to gain 3 life, and I'll put a counter on the penguin.
No blocking, that's all.
Okay, so you take 7. You're at 9, and I'm at
Yep.
12. I will scry. And I don't need another one of these, so bottom. Your go.
End hostilities. 9. Or 7.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Draw. And you're 9. So we'll attack you with just these 2 and then play Rhino.
Sure.
A rhinoceros strategy.
Alright, we're back for game number 4. I'll be on the play. And I swapped 2 Thoughtseize for 2 Rabble Masters. I like having a little more Rabble Masters in my deck on the play and a little less Thoughtseizes on the play.
And I cut 2 Surax for 2 Thoughtseizes because I want the full 4 on the draw.
And this hand seems perfectly fine, so I'll keep.
This hand's going to need a little help from our draw. We're going to need to draw either a green source or a white source to make this hand good. But otherwise, it is actually a really good hand, so I'm going to keep.
Alright, we're going to scry.
Sure.
And I think this card's fine, so I'll keep this.
Draw. Alright, so that was good. And we'll just play Windswept Teeth and say go.
Alright, well, I'm sure that this guy is not long for this world, but I'll play a Grandmaster and pass.
Okay, draw. I will fetch for a forest and then go to 18 and cast a Fleeceman Lion. I'll be done.
Well, this is going to be a good turn. Yeah, that's a sweet card. I just need to draw a land. Alright, well, I'm going to start with the Thoughtseize.
Alright, you have a choice between about 1 million creatures and a Hero's Downfall. My opening hand was Windswept Teeth Urborg, so I need to draw either a
You've just drawn
green,
2 lands?
green or a white source.
Alright, well, I think that I actually just take his downfall here. Yeah, I'll take the downfall. I go to 18.
Yep.
I'm going to go to 17 and then back up to 20.
Strike.
And strike the Fleeceman line. I'm going to attack you for 2, and I go to 22 and you go to 16.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'll draw. I will scry and think that we actually keep this. So I'm going to leave that on top and I'm going to say go.
Interesting. Got a land here, it'd be so nice. Not that land. Battle.
I'll take a damage and ultimate price.
Man. Can't Thoughtseize the top of their deck.
Cannot Thoughtseize the top, so 15 to 22.
Go ahead. I
Right.
think this will still end up being fine for us, though.
Unfortunately, I didn't realize I only have 1 green source, so I should have probably bottomed this card. But
Oh, you thought you were going to be able to play both 2-drops here?
yeah. I'll play this, and I guess I'll just cast Inoffensive then. You're up.
Alright, we will Crackling Doom, and I'll take 2. So I go to 20.
You only need to take 1. Except for
Oh yeah, Urborg. Sweet. Alright, so I go to 21 and you go to 13.
Yep, you're up.
Let me draw. Oh man. Oh man, that's nice. Do I just do this? Yeah. Change of plans.
Sure.
And then I'll attack.
12.
Go ahead.
Okay, there's a forest, so we can cast a Lion and a Death Dealer. Your turn.
Alright, well, here I think I'm fine just trading off my Rabble Master for his Death Dealer. Ultimately. So I think what I'll do here is this. I want to keep this untapped. I'll glare the Fleece Mane Lion.
Okay. Lying down.
Combat.
Sure.
Trigger.
Yeah, I'll trade off. Get that guy off the table.
Take 2 and go to 10.
Yep.
And then I'll play a secret and pass.
Okay. Alright, draw. Well, I'm gonna really just hope he doesn't
Land
have
Elspeth?
another removal spell, but he probably does. You're up.
Fleece Mane Lion. Draw a card. Alright. You have 1 card in hand?
I do.
So I guess... I'm gonna cast this.
Okay.
Trigger.
Sure.
Alright, trigger resolves. Siege. What do I pick? I think that I just have to pick cons. I don't think dragons will do it. This is actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Because you are at a little life total, but without cards like Hordling Outburst in the deck, I don't think that dragons will do it, so I'm just going to name cons.
Okay.
And then I'll go to combat.
Sure.
I think that I just attack with everything. So like if he has another removal spell in hand for my Seeker, then he does, but...
I think I just have to block here and keep my line alive. So I go to 6, you go to 24.
Yep. And I'll pass.
I just have to hope to draw something. Draw. Oh, well, I guess that's another lion. And we'll say go.
Alright, upkeep cons. Draw card. Well, that's pretty good. You have 1 card?
Yep.
So I think that if he had a Dromoka's command in his hand, he would have used it while I was tapped out. So I think I'm safe to just use this. So we do white. Yeah, I can not take any damage, so I get black from the Airborg here. We'll do 4 damage here and trigger.
Sure.
Prowess. And then I just attack like this.
Alright, this time I have to block here.
Yep.
So I go to 5 and
I
you go to...
27.
Yep.
I'll pass.
Draw. Go.
Alright, upkeep. Rats. Draw a card. Still not bad. I'll attack you.
Go to 4.
Alright, I will pass the turn.
Okay.
And I have effects in your draw step. So I think that I want to do this to duress you, just in case you hit an Elspeth.
Okay.
And... Alright. I don't get anything.
We'll cast this.
Yep.
And you're up.
You know, I drew a Stoke.
Okay, done.
I also had the Crackling Doom.
Still had it all. Alright, we are back for game 5, and I switched back to Nasty Siraxty, cutting down to 2 Thoughtseizes since I'm back on the play.
And I switched out the Thoughtseizes, or I brought in the 2 more Thoughtseizes and cut the 2 Route Masters for being on the draw.
This hand is fine. It's not exciting, but it's a fine hand, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. So.
I think that this hand is a keep here on the draw. It could very well just not be, but we're going to see what happens.
Alright, I'll start with a Scry, and that seems like a kind of card that I would want to draw, so I'll leave it on top of my deck. You're up.
Well, that's not a bad draw. Let's play Outpost and pass.
Alright, I am just going to play this and fire off a Thoughtseize. Alright, so this hand is 3 removal spells, 4 removal spells, and a Thoughtseize, and a land, and an Outpost Siege. So yet again, I'm going to take his Outpost Siege because we're not going to. I mean, our plan of fighting through his removal spells is going to just be
Play more guys.
play more guys, not take them with Thoughtseize. You're up.
Yeah. All right, that's a good draw. Well, so if I do this, it's 2, 3, yeah. I thought it's easy. Alright, so I'm going to go to 18. We have a Surak, a Siege Rhino. Well, So I can't glare his Siege Rhino, but I can Stoke or Murderous Cut his Surak. So basically I have 3 removal spells and only 2 of them hit each of his creatures. Standard in a nutshell. So we kind of have to figure out what's going to be the best one to take. Obviously I don't care about his downfall. Like, we don't have any threats. We're going to have to deal with it eventually, but So I think that I would much rather have to worry about his Surak than a Siege Rhino, because I kind of want to save this glare. So I will pass the turn.
You're taking
I'll take the Siege Rhino and then pass the turn.
Okay.
So I'll pass the turn. Like, wait, whoa.
Really? Okay, sure. Yeah.
You can't fail to find on a reveal.
Yeah.
You gotta pick one.
Oh yeah. So you know my hand, and I just drew a Sand Citadel. So here we go.
Go ahead.
If I just play the Surak, he's just going to cut it. So I'll just say go.
Land. Nope. I think I want to play this anyways. Like, if he wants to use a removal spell, he can. I'll play a Seeker and then pass.
I'll downfall it.
It's dead.
And draw. That is actually a very good card against what he has going on. It's a very, very, very good card.
Death Dealer?
Yeah, it is.
That's rough.
Yeah, so I think I play this Urborg here to get my Death Dealer going. And this is my only white source. Or if I draw a Wingmate Rock, this would be my only white sources. So I'll go ahead and cast Death Dealer and say go.
I'll pass.
My upkeep, I will fetch.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, 17. And I'll just get Forest. On the bottom of my deck's just mono Siege Rhinos. It's like 3 Siege Rhinos in the bottom. 10 cards on my deck.
That's where they should stay.
Is it?
Yes.
We will draw for turn. And play a Windswept Heath, go to combat.
That's fine.
I'll attack a Death Dealer.
I will declare 0 blockers.
I will pump it.
That's fine.
Okay, take 4.
14.
Here we go. I'm going to leave open double regeneration to prevent him from going like cut, untap, stoke or something.
Into your turn, I will take a point of damage and make 2 1/1s.
Okay.
So I go to 13.
Yep.
You're at 17.
17 to 13.
Attack you for 1.
16.
Go ahead.
Attack.
I'll block.
Okay. I'll pass.
I'm gonna stoke you.
Do you take 1 from that?
I do.
These are white tokens.
Yeah.
So you go to 12 and I go to 12?
Yep.
Okay. Yep, that happens. I'll cast a Siege Rhino. So 15 to 9. I'll play Stand Step and say go. I think leaving open just 1 regeneration on Death Dealer is fine. If he blows like Cut plus Lightning Strike, then that sucks, but oh well. Clear.
Yeah, I'll clear the Rhino.
He has been cleared.
Man, I don't know how I'm gonna win this game.
Death Dealer too strong.
Yeah, I just haven't seen a Crackling Doom. It's awkward. I don't think I just have to pass.
Alright, so cut and end hostilities, and then unknown cards. Attack you with actually. Yeah, attack you with Death Dealer.
I'll block.
Sure. And this is just going to die, but I'm just going to keep adding creatures to this board and force him to use his removal spells. I'll say go. And I get to leave open double regen on Death Dealer, which is important because he can't go cut plus end hostilities.
Yeah. Just cut the inoffense up.
Okay, she has been cut. She's no longer on the starting squad.
Alright, well that's a pretty good draw. I'll pass.
Okay. Combat.
Okay.
Huzzah.
No blocks.
2 cards in your hand. You're at 9.
Yep.
Okay, just take 2. So you get a 7? Or unless you have an effect.
I wonder if I should use this. Makes him have to pump twice. I don't really want that. Yeah, I'll just take it.
So you're at 7?
Yep.
I will cast Anafenza and say go.
Alright, well, we're gonna stoke the inoffense on Grand Step.
Okay.
And untapped land. Go ahead.
Perfect. +2/+2.
Sure.
Alright, so now I have to see here, do I actually play the Surak, or do I just try to kill him with Death Dealer?
I mean, either way loses to... either way isn't in a bad spot to double remove a spell, right?
Yeah. I think I'm going to go for just this. That way I have this as a follow-up if he has double removal spell. Alright, so I'll attack. And... pump to 6. Is that fine?
Yep.
Pump to 8.
Yeah, just draw an spell. Just
Okay.
not that plan.
Well, that played out, honestly, a lot how those matches tend to play out in actual events where both players just expend so many resources, and it comes down to, like, if you can stick an outpost siege, you're going to win, like that one game where you had siege. And if I can find a really hard to deal with threat, I'll probably win. So one of the games was that Wingmate Rock. Death Dealer did, really some great work out in the field as well. So just things like that. And I think that's one reason why Abzan Aggro is good, is it's actually really good against decks that are trying to win by just killing everything, because eventually, like, you're gonna stick a guy that doesn't die to the specific removal spells in their hand. Like Death Dealer dodged, like you didn't basically because you didn't draw Crackling Doom that last game. Death Dealer was able to dodge like 5 removal spells in your hand, and sometimes the same is true with like Fleece Mainline, where your hand's gonna be like 2 end hostilities and an anger, or and something like that, and I can just monstrous the Fleece Mainline and you just can't kill it.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the Abzan Aggro deck, and it isn't just so much that there are creatures that can dodge removal, it's that every single creature in that deck can win the game by itself.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you play it on curve or on turn 8, they're game-winning threats, which is very unique. There haven't been a whole lot of 2-drops that can do that, and we're just fortunate in this day and age that we actually have 2 of them that can win the game at any stage all by themselves.
And even a 1-drop Warden that does the same thing.
It's pretty sweet.
Anafenza is kind of the one exception to the rule where Anafenza is probably the only creature in the deck that is phenomenal when you on curve and gets worse and worse as the game progresses, but it's just so good when you cast it on curve that it's worth playing.
And even then, it's just a Loxodon Smiter.
Yeah.
It's just a 4/4 for 3.
It's country 4/4 still good.
Yeah, you can still just win the game.
What did you think about the Mardu deck?
I'm a little torn. I think that the deck is pretty sweet. I'm not a huge fan of like the Elspeth sideboard, or maybe you just don't need a full 3. Like, it just felt really hard to actually get to a point where you're casting her.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't need the Elspeths. I'm not sure what else you could do. Maybe just like Wingmate Rock is your card to try and go over the top.
Or just Sarkans.
Of your opponents, or you just play Sarkans, or just play more of a Dragon style deck where you have Thunderbreak Regent and Stormbreath Dragon in the deck. It just feels like there's, I don't know, Mardu decks to me always feel like they have a bit of an identity crisis where they're not quite sure what they want to be doing.
Yeah,
with
like,
whatever configuration they're playing. All the cards are so good and sit on top of each other, it's kind of awkward to build and play.
Yeah, Wild Slash and Elspeth aren't 2 cards that you generally see in the same deck. I do like the sideboard plan. I like the sideboard plan of control deck, with like Thought Seizes and Sieges and things like that, where you can just and like a bunch of removal spells, you can try to grind your opponent out that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not sure that Elspeth is the right finisher for that. I mean, it seems like it should be, but like 25 lands Elspeth is just, especially when you also have Sieges and hostilities, it's just really awkward, and you can lose a lot of games where you're just stuck with like your hand at the end of that game where you had a 5 and 2 6s in your hand at the end, and you couldn't end hostility my Death Dealer, and you just missed on the lands for Elspeth, which that's just going to happen when you're not playing that many lands, and even a lot of your lands are coming to play tap lands and stuff like that, where they do help you scry to Elspeth, but they also don't let you curve into Elspeth as easy.
Yeah. I'm honestly not quite sure where the deck should go. I do know that I liked not having Hero's Downfall, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
I much prefer having removal that does damage, so that when the Downfall's dead, you can still nug the opponent. not a huge fan of Mardu Charm. It felt like, I don't know, it just didn't feel very good. I think that Self-Inflicted Wound is probably a card you should be playing this weekend if you have black mana in your deck.
Yeah.
And would really like Self-Inflicted Wound. Also gives you another card that can kill a Monstrous Beastman Lion or a Rakshasa Death Dealer, especially combined with the amount of removal that's in the deck. I feel like Self-Inflicted Wound would be pretty sweet in this deck.
Can also kill Rhino and stuff too.
Yeah, like it just kind of doubles up on everything. It's almost like it's like since we're not going to be hitting something like Chain to the Rocks with Glare of Heresy anymore, I think it's probably better just to move to Self-Inflicted Wound over that spot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like,
I mean, Glare is a way to...
Glare still hits Elspeth, which is relevant.
Elspeth is... Like that last game where your hand's just a million removal spells. You know, if I just draw Elspeth, the game just ends. Because like you're not going to be able to deal with that Elspeth that easily. Even if you Glare it, I mean, the 3 tokens are still... I mean, I guess they forced you to play the end hostilities or whatever, but yeah, Elspeth seemed really good against you.
Well, any card that's going to create multiple creatures like that is going to be good against the Mardu decks. Like,
yeah.
This deck has never beaten a Hornet Queen. Like, Mardu decks just never beat Hornet Queen.
That's true.
Mardu decks are always going to be weak to cards like Elspeth.
Yeah, I guess that's where the angers in the sideboard are for. But yeah, I do feel like the deck's like really good, has a lot of powerful things going for it, but it is, and that's actually one of the reasons why I've never played Mardu in a tournament. It's because it always feels so awkward. There's so many games where you're like, you know, Seeker the Way into Goblin Rabblemaster, kill 2 of your guys, get you down to 6, fall behind on board, cast End Hostilities, and it's like, it just feels so weird. It's like, if that End Hostilities was like a Stoke the Flames, you probably would have won. But then again, there's those other games where like you draw like all these Stokes and like you just have to have an End Hostilities to win. So it's kind of weird mix of cards. It's like hard to find the right mix, and I think there is a way to do it, but I've never really invested the time or effort to try to figure out what that is.
Well, it's not only just investing the time and effort, it's that Standard changes from week to week.
Yeah.
And with most decks, there's just kind of like a few cards that you would change to attack what you think the meta is going to be like that week. If you are just like a hardcore Mardu player and you want to play Mardu every single week, your deck's going to be like 20 cards different each week because you have to change everything to fight what you think the meta is going to be like. And that's a lot of time that you have to put in to figure out what the right configuration is going to be for that week. And I just don't feel like the payoff is that big.
Yeah, there's really like 3 different Mardu decks. There's aggressive Mardu, Mardu Dragons, and then there's also just traditional like Butcher the Horde style Mardu. Like you could just really play any of those. They all could have variety of different like sideboard plans. Yeah, I mean there's so many different things. It's just not easy to figure out what the right build is. And I think that's actually just true of a lot of decks in Standard too. Like Abzan, there's Aggro, Control, Megamorph, Megamorph Control,
Megamorph Dragons.
Abzan Whip. Like there's so many different Abzan decks, and like Jeskai, there's like Ascendancy, Mantis Rider, more controlling versions of the Mantis Rider deck, more aggressive versions. Like all these like 3-color shards have like different ways to build it. Sultai has Control plus Whip. There's ways to build that. Teamers just kind of got the short end of the stick. But
yeah, I've made my opinion on Teamer very clear.
Yeah. So I think that Mardu is a sweet deck, but it really takes knowing exactly what you're trying to do with your Mardu deck in every single matchup to be able to successfully pilot that deck in a tournament.
Mardu to me feels like Jund Legacy, where you have like the tools to fight every angle that's going to come at you, but you can't fight them all at once, so you have to pick and choose your spots. And the people that love playing Jund Legacy, they love playing Jund Legacy, and they're going to play it every time. And that's what Mardu feels like, is if you just love the Mardu clan, you want to play these cards, you're going to each week, but you got to put in the work to figure out what angle you need to be at for that weekend.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And if it doesn't have Stormbreath Dragon or Polukranos, I'm not really that happy, so.
Polukranos doesn't actually really work in Mardu, though.
I know, that's the problem.
Yeah, I guess that's a reasonable problem.
So you said this is what you're working on, so we could more than likely expect to see a BBD casting Siege Rhino yet again in a Standard tournament this weekend?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what version of Rhino, but I'll probably be Rhinoing. I like this build. No downfalls in the main is a little aggressive. If I play against a lot of Elspeth, it's going to be a giant problem, but I do like the versatility of Abzan Charm. It is also awkward against things like Goblin Rabblemaster, where if I have like wounds, Abzan Charms, I'm stuck on Ultimate Price and Dromoka's Command as being my only ways to kill Rabblemaster. So there are some holes with this build, but I'm going to keep working on it and see what I can fix. I do like Surak, though. He's been great for me so far, and the rest of the deck's pretty normal stuff.
Fair enough. Don't know what I'm playing yet. You have to show up and find out. But it'll probably have Stormbreath Dragon and or Pelagrinos in it.
Probably, yeah.
Probably. So I think that about wraps it up for us. Hopefully something exciting comes out of the Grand Prix and the Open this weekend, so we have some fresh blood to battle here on the Versus series. Since as much as I love Standard, I kind of want something to shake us up.
Yep. Well, Origins is coming out pretty soon, so
I know.
we do have a new set.
Can't wait.
That will shake things up a little bit.
Can't wait. It's going to be great. Get to cast Elvish Visionary all over again.
I get to cast Liliana, Heretical. What is it? Healer?
I guess.
Something like that. I don't know. I lost track midway through.
So for those of you who are watching on YouTube and not on StarCityGames.com, there should be some panels underneath our beautiful faces, so you can click on to see some previous BBD versus CVMs. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, as well as let us know what you want to see in the comments. We've had a lot of people have been posting that they want to see some more Modern, which is great. I love Modern too.
Some people also posted wanting to see Legacy.
And they want to see Legacy. But we currently have just a billion Standard tournaments coming up, and we want to help people get prepared for those events. So we're likely to be on Standard for the time being. So definitely let us know if you see any sweet Standard decks that you want to see, because there are some sweet brews out there.
Yep, definitely.
So thanks for stopping by and hanging out. I'll see you in Indianapolis this weekend, where you can get your sweet Tasper playmat if you want to come check that out for 15 rounds of Standard. BBD is going to be in Providence playing in the Grand Prix, so make sure you bug him a bunch.
Feel
he
free.
loves to sign stuff. So we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.